Who's about? Say hello in the comments. Who's about? Let me know who's here. Say hello in the comments. No one about? Nobody want to say hello? Anyone? Ten viewers, 5 likes. Nobody wants to say hello. Come on. Say hello. Who's here? Who's watching? Unless I have a very slow connection again. Let's have a look. Jump on there, see if there's any. Oh, excuse me. Oh, there we go. There's some comments. There's some comments. No comments showing up in my other bit. Okay, how you doing, people? Free Rider, Matt, John, Kieran, how are you? Oh, no wonder it's not showing up. It's the wrong one. What a fucking idiot. Never mind. No, it turns out that I was about 45 minutes away from leaving to go and get the train down to London to go and see the Metropolitan Police at Charing Cross Police Station, and I get a phone call from my brief. Thankfully, before I left my house, and yeah, so they've decided that they don't want to see me today, which is a bit of a pain in the arse because I already bought the ticket in advance to make it cheaper, and now that ticket goes in the bin. Mars the Second Genesis, yeah, I have seen it. I've not read it yet, but I have seen it. I've been a little bit busy yesterday and today, or this morning, trying to get my stuff sorted out for going to see the police today. But yeah, as I say, they've turned around and told me that they don't want to see me today. My bail has been extended until the 29th of March. I mean, I should have known. Yeah, Matt, exactly. Dicking me about. I should have known that, you know, it was going to go. That it was going to be stupid. But you know, what can you do? Bear with me a sec. No, too dark. Too bright. That's a bit better. There we go. It's not so shiny on my head now. plenty of time to read it. To be honest, Miles the Second Genesis, what I was going to do today, I was going to pop out today for a bit. I'd already said there wasn't going to be any videos today because I was due to go out. To be fair, I haven't got anything prepared for today. So what I'm going to do is I will read it later. I will read it later today, but I'm gonna go out for a bit today, get some fresh air and that, and exercise my leg and my arm because I still get weakness and whatnot. Hello Thomas, how you doing? So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do today. So there won't be any videos as such today. I don't think, unless something sort of mental pops up, then I'll probably do something with that. But generally speaking, today I'm not going to put any videos out. I'm going to take the day off. See if I can catch up on some of my emails and messages and bits and pieces like that. So yeah, but I thought I'd jump on now, see who's about, see if anyone wants to chat for a bit before I do anything else. How is everybody anyway? Everybody good? Morning, 3 times. Everyone good? Everyone all right? My take on the Canadian police tyranny. To be honest, Miles, nearly all of my attention is taken up with what goes on here. To be honest, I have seen some madness from the Canadian police. In fact, I watched a video this morning about a little old man getting arrested, twisted up. It's sickening the way that they're behaving, but I don't know enough about it to sort of pass comment other than what I've seen, and what I've seen is very few pieces. The pigeon, it's not a pigeon, is it? It's a pigeon. The pigeon, unfortunately, didn't survive the night. It's a shame. I believe both of its legs were broken. I didn't see any blood on it, so I know the cat had. I know the cat had brought it in, but I didn't see any blood on it at all. But I put a drop of water in there. It was in the cat crate. I put a drop of water in there. Put a bit of bread and stuff in there. It's all I had. I haven't got anything else for it, so I put a bit of bread in there and that. And then this morning, when I got up, the first thing I done was went in to check it because I locked it in the bathroom so the cat couldn't get to it, and yeah, it was dead. So, but it's unfortunate, but it's circle of life and all that. Cats are, cats have a place in the world, don't they? And they do what they do. It's nature, and I wouldn't have let him eat it. Having caught it, I wouldn't have let him eat it or anything like that. So which is why I took it off him. But out in the wild, it would have eaten it. So it's one of them things. At least it didn't get eaten. So yeah, it's a shame, but such is life. I'm a swinger. How you doing? CCTV user. No, I didn't hear what Crinkle did last night. As a matter of fact, you say he's been shut down. This morning, I actually watched his audit video. I don't know if you've seen it, the audit video he did, but I'll tell you what, if them two police women had penises, it would have been balls deep down his throat. The way he was, you know, cop sucking, licking boots. But no, I've not heard about what he's done, so please tell, please tell. Yeah, Miles, do you know what? They're already doing that here. That, you know, they're wanting to change the Human Rights Act. You know, they want to amend the Human Rights Act. They want to, you know, put restrictions on us that have been our right for a long time. And it's, you know, I've posted it on my YouTube, on my Facebook page, on my Police Abuse and Powers Facebook page. There's a petition at the moment for it. So yeah, so it's frightening. It's frightening, Miles. Sorry, I'm just reading some of these other comments here about Crinkle. Bastion, yeah, absolutely. You know, as I say, if those two police women had penises, it'd have been tickling their balls whilst they was violating his face. And he wonders why he was, you know, he's going, oh, I'm trying to prove them wrong, trying to prove auditors wrong that you don't abuse your powers and this, that, and the other, blah 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 blah. But you know, he could not have been, and he could not have cleaned their boots anymore if he tried with that boot licking. Unbelievable. He streamed a guy being hacked to death, eyes cut out the lot. YouTube ended his stream and stopped him from live streaming. Shit, what did he do that for? And he said he wanted to do what? Fucking hell. I know he's a bit special, isn't he? But I'd never have assumed he'd have said something like that. Jesus. My God. Some of the things people say. Some of the, you know, YouTube sends people do lally sometimes, you know. You know, I've fallen out with people, and you know, I've called a couple of people out on my channel with evidence. You know, if somebody's had a dig at me, I've called them out. But I've never done anything like that. You know, I've never done a video and I've come on and I've gone, oh, that bastard, this, that, and the other, fucking rah, rah, rah. You know, I've never done that, and I can't imagine myself doing it. I can't. No, honestly, I'm surprised. Drunk or not, I am surprised. People should be filming everything. Do you know what, right? What people should be doing is, whether you see a protest, whether you see a police interaction, all of that stuff, okay, you should be filming. And then what you should be doing is you should be uploading it to, what's it called? Not to YouTube. What's it called? Jesus, I can't remember what it's called now. News Flare, I think it's called. Let's have a look. I should know because I've got an account on there. Yeah, news flare. That's what you should be doing. You should be recording it, everything you see, upload it to news flare, okay? And then what happens is newspapers, news channels, they look on there for footage to use, okay? And you can get paid for that piece of footage. You can put it on YouTube as well, but you want to upload it to Newsflare first of all and make yourself some money. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to sell all of your stuff, but if you record as much as possible, incidents that happen, upload it to Newsflare, you've got a chance of selling your footage, so you can make yourself some cash in the process, you know. Just got my notification. Oh, my notification of my my trip to London Euston. Oh Jesus! Starts in 45 minutes. That's when my train leaves. And unfortunately, I've wasted my money on that because the tossers don't want me to go down there. Typical. Yeah, if we all sit on our asses and do not support the protests by filming and documenting it, the bastards who are trying to take away our freedoms have already won. I agree with you, Mars. I do agree with you. As you say, the mainstream media isn't really covering it. I've seen, I think I've seen 2 or 3 articles today, this morning, but I've seen nothing. I mean, I have to go through the news articles every day to search for stuff for the channel. Oh, excuse me. Why do I always want money off my subs? I begged for 2,000 to replace your stuff. The cheek. Slim Shady, you dickhead. I always beg for money off my subs. I always want money off my subs. No, I don't. Not at all. That's why not last year, year before, when I started doing the PAP cards, I didn't make any money on them. I didn't make any money on the leaflets that I made for people's rights. I didn't make any money on that. All of that, what I was paying, and I was quite transparent about it. What I was paying is what people paid. That's it. Made no money on that at all. So I suggest you fuck off, because you're a nobody. Hello, Shelley. How you doing? Nice to see you. Thank you. Hello, Glindor. Who is this prick anyway? Slim Shady. Is that a picture of you, Slim Shady? If it is, you've got fucking massive ears, mate. You look like a wingnut. Cheers, guy. Appreciate it. Start giving and not expecting. So you don't think I give? Do you not think me doing, you know, all these videos each day is giving people? Hence why I've got 30-odd thousand subscribers. God, you're a penis. Absolute penis. I mean, at least, you know, at least come up with something original, you know. I've been on here for this, you know, at the end of this month, I'll have been on here 3 years, and yet I'm still yet to hear anything original from somebody like you. Zooey Castles. It depends what the situation is. You can email me, policeabusingpowers@gmail.com. If I can help, I will. If I can't, I'll put you in touch with somebody who I think can. Good morning, Louise. Hello, Hee-haw. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you. I'm not asked about, about people coming on and giving it the big one for hiding behind their computer screens using other people's photos. At least I've got the bollocks to put my face, to what I say. I don't hide. Never hidden behind anything. I put myself out there. If I make a mistake, I apologise for that mistake and I rectify that. Do you know what I mean? Not like people that hide, as I say, behind their fake profiles. So for those of you just jumping on, as I say, I was meant to go to London today to answer bail. All ready to go. I've got my bag there with all my stuff in. I've got all my camera equipment that I've got left and all the rest of it to and some space for me bits and pieces. I was going to go down there and I was going to whilst I was there, I was going to see if I could speak to some of the police outside and ask them if they're part of or whether they've experienced some of the harassment, sexual deviance, all that kind of stuff, because it's Charing Cross Police Station where a lot of the, we've been talking about this over the last week, with regards to the sort of what's it called, investigation. This is part of the reason why Cressida Dick's getting her ass kicked at the moment. But well, I would have done that. The problem is I'm not allowed in London. Part of my bail conditions, not to be in London unless I'm attending bail, or for another policing matter. So if I'd have gone down there, I'd have been breaching my bail and I could have got banged up again. So I don't really want to risk doing that. I don't advocate people breaking the law. If you've got bail conditions, even if they're unfair, you fight those bail conditions. You use a decent brief, or you take it to court yourself and say, look, these are unfair bail conditions. But I don't advocate people breaking the law. As much as we don't like the police, we can't break the law while telling them not to. Do you know what I mean? So, hello, little Nikki. Oh, thank you. It's nice for you to jump in the chat there. I do hope you'll become part of the conversation when we do lives and in the videos. I mean, my brief said to me, look, they should have me out under investigation rather than on bail. There's a difference between being on bail and being under investigation, and they say that I should be under investigation rather than on bail. They're also gonna put they're gonna bill the Met as well for my train ticket. They're gonna send them a bill, an invoice for the cost of my train ticket. So we'll see where that goes. Mrs. Live Free, how you doing? I did see, no offence, I didn't watch it all. I saw somebody jump on Live Free's live stream the other day saying they was Mrs. Live Free, and Chris wasn't so sure it was. but I came off the chat before I found out, so I don't know if you're the original Mrs. Mrs. Live Free or not. If you are, my apologies. Waited on bail for over a year before our case finally got to court. Got one not guilty, one dismissed at half time on one stage. Attempted to sue for all the wrong. Yeah, it's difficult, Louise. Absolutely, it is hard to get anywhere with the police, and the reason being is because they've got all the time in the world and they've got all the money they need. Our money, the money we pay them, that they waste. Pissing us off. They use our money to piss us off. They don't use it to fight crime. They're using it to cause us inconvenience. Smudge, what are you doing? Wait, come here. Come and say hello. Come on. Come on. You murderer. What are you doing? You're scratching up my carpet down there. Hey, what are you doing? You're purring. Hey? Go on. Oh, off you go. You've done your bit. Civil business. Fucking hell, I'm struggling to talk this morning. Civil disobedience as having a legal issue that he's dealing with at the moment. I don't know exactly what it is. I spoke to him on the phone a couple of weeks ago. He told me he is having a legal issue. I didn't ask what it was. If he wants to tell me, then he can do, but I didn't ask him. But all I know is that he'll be back as soon as he can. Hello, Brexit. What people need to do, Miles, rather than hold the MSN to account, is to stop fucking watching them at the end of the day. Now, I'll tell you what. What's his name? Who's that guy that had a mouse living in his hair for ages? Russell Brand, that's it. If you look at Russell Brand's channel, okay, a couple of days ago, or was it yesterday? It might have been yesterday, but it may have been it may have been published the day before. But Russell Brand actually posted a video talking about how the news corporations that go on and on and on about people's privacy and this, that, and the other. Them ones are the worst for harvesting our data. Okay, go and watch his video. Honest to God, go and watch Russell Brand's video from yesterday, I think it was, and it will explain a fair amount about the mainstream news. Okay, and why you should not trust them. Okay, and he does a pretty good job of explaining it as well, I've got to say. Yeah, I don't even put the telly on anymore. My telly is unplugged. I actually unplugged it from the wall because I don't use it. I've still got cable, which I'm still paying for, which is ridiculous. But yeah, I just don't watch it. I haven't watched telly for almost a year, I think. Yeah, almost a year. Bobby, I've not been, and I'm not going. The cat, Molly, is Smudge. call him Smudge because he looks like he's dipped his face in some ink and smudged it. He may well be controlled. A lot of these people are. You know, I'm not saying that he is or isn't. A lot of them are. But the video that he put out was an interesting video. And even people that are controlled will put out stuff that is interesting at times. And although I don't watch all of his stuff, I kind of if something grabs my attention, then I'll watch it. I don't often get time to watch stuff, but hi, Bryony. How are you? How are you today? we won't go into it in depth on here today, but I just excuse me. But how are you feeling? All right, just remember one thing, okay? When you start feeling low, okay, reach out to somebody before it consumes you, okay? Again, I'm not going into it on here, okay? What we talk about is between you and I. But when somebody feels that low, as you have felt recently, and I have in the past, it's a lot harder to get back from that. And if you start to feel like you're on a slippery slope, try and reach out to somebody. Reach out to me, reach out to somebody. You don't have to tell them that you're feeling down. Just reach out to them. Just talk to somebody and take your mind off of stuff for a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Just try. Try putting a firework up their bottom. That's very polite of you. No, one woman vigilante, Bryony, you do have people. There are people, myself included, and others from the chat that have offered to be there for you. Do you know what I mean? We might not be able to fix anything. We might not be able to be there physically, but you can reach out to people on the phone, via email, ask somebody to call you, and just talking to somebody. You don't even have to tell them that you're feeling shit. You just phone them up. How you doing? You know, and get a conversation going. And for a short while, you'll forget about everything. And then when you get off the phone, hopefully you'll be in a slightly better mood than you was prior to the phone call. I know it's not easy. I know it's not, you know, and I've been there myself, and I'm not suggesting that you know, you can just do it like that every time, because you can't. But you need to try. You need to try and reach out to somebody, okay? And try and take your mind off of those negative thoughts. Well, look, Brian, look, we spoke, didn't we? For quite a while. You know, when we finished the conversation, as I said to you, you know, I wanted us to end that conversation on with you laughing, and we did, you know, and okay, it may only last for a short while, but all of those situations, all of those incidents, in all of those times that you speak to somebody and they make you laugh, and you know, all of that, while that's happening, you're forgetting about the negative stuff. Yes, it comes back when you stop talking to somebody after a while, understandable, which is why you need to try and force yourself, if you can, to reach out to somebody. All right. Last thing I ever want is for somebody to feel that alone and that desperate that they feel that they don't want to be around, you know, especially when there are people here that want to help, you know. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to go into it any more than that, okay? You know, we've spoken before. I've told you what I want you to do now. Reach out to somebody. You know, ball's kind of in your court in that respect, but, you know, you've got my number, okay? So you can call me. Even if it's to rant about somebody. You know, even if you want to phone me up and go, Dan, some fucking wanker today has pissed me off, X, Y, Z. And I'll listen, you know what I mean? It's all good. It's all good. Morning, Lawrence. How you doing? You'll go into a police station today in order to let them know that later on they'll be called out to remove you from seeing your mum in a care home. Well, what's happening? I mean, you can go and see people in care homes at the moment, can't you? Did I work in Debden? Close to Debden, I think it was. Oh my God, it's been that long since I can't remember the names of the places. Give me a second. Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would have been Debden, yeah. Long time ago, though. What makes you ask that? That's when I used to work for the council. You worked with me? Did you? What, on the wagons? Right to privacy watching now. That is. But then they're trying to take away our human rights, aren't they? That's why they're trying to get it amended, the Human Rights Act. Bryony, I think the mainstream media are a huge bunch of lying tosspots that always have an alternative agenda. I think you should use them if you can. Okay, use and abuse. Okay, if you're going to use and abuse anybody, use and abuse the mainstream media. Okay, for example, you get these. You know how you get these morning shows, and they do like makeovers and stuff like that. Okay, use it. Fucking, go and get one by all means. All of that kind of stuff. Get what you can out of them, but don't get your information out of them. So take what you can out of them, but never take your information out of them. So, save your information from non-mainstream platforms, independent platforms. That don't necessarily have an agenda. I mean, every company has an agenda of some kind, but the mainstream media is the worst. They've got political agendas and all sorts. So be cautious with anything that you get from them. She's not going anywhere, Bryony. She's still there. You've got her email address. You can email her at any time. When you're ready. There's a difference between taken and taking, Harry. Are you stupid? Taken means to have taken already. Taking means to be taking, not have taken yet. Watching now, I think if you go to the police, what they'll do is they'll advise you not to go. I think that's what they'll do. I think if you do go, film it. I don't mean to, obviously you've got to consider your I think you said it was your mum, did you? Her privacy and whatnot. So be cautious with that. But I think any interaction that you have while you're there should be filmed, and then if the police turn up, you've got evidence of that you was not an aggressor, and that you was you was courteous and polite and whatnot, and you just wanted to see your mum. I'm the stupid one, am I, Harry? But I'm the stupid one when you're talking about how are you able to be on here if your human rights are taken, but other people are talking about the government taking, attempting to take, not yet taken. You fucking wet wipe. Morning, Whack. Thank you, National Memorial. Yeah, good point, Glindor. Good point. I missed that myself, to be honest. Actually, do you know what, Lucifer? I think you might be right. Maybe that is crinkle. But I wouldn't say that shit to your face. Listen, I don't say anything out loud that I wouldn't say to somebody in person. Okay. Dumb fuck. Yeah, just be careful watching now, okay? As I say, you need to evidence yourself to protect yourself. And that way, if the police turn up, and you can say to them, look, I can prove to you that I'm not the aggressor. If they then become aggressive with you, okay, they're failing to look at the evidence, okay, before they grab hold of you and all that kind of, maybe drag you out or whatever. So, you know, the failure to look at the evidence before they act could be a potential for a claim. Brave on the keyboard, fatso. So I'm a bit overweight, and what? And what? I can do something about that. You clearly can't do anything about being a cunt, can you? UK transparency, that's the best thing about it. Do you know what I mean? People, they don't like somebody, but they jump on their videos and they comment, or they watch the live streams and they comment, and they don't realise that all they're doing is helping the channel. They're absolute idiots. They go, oh, we're going to take your channel down. Okay, carry on watching. Carry on commenting. It all helps. Yeah, I'm smoking. Yeah. Yeah. How you doing, Princess Kiwi? I'm a swinger. What's your favourite position? Well, it's got to be either doggy or reverse cowgirl. I've got to say. I will boot them if they start attacking anybody else. While they're attacking me, it you know, they're not picking on anyone else, are they? So no, there's definitely not enough support, David. Absolutely, definitely not enough support. In fact, I was talking to my physio yesterday about it. What have I got to be sad about? What have I got to be sad about? I've got a channel with a fabulous community. Okay, I've got 30-odd thousand subscribers. I never even imagined I'd get, you know, even 100 when I started the channel. You know, I've made some amazing friends through YouTube. But what on earth do I have to be sad about? I must have no friends when I have to talk to strangers. Well, you certainly are strange. I'll give you that. And I am talking to you. Yes, granted. But what's your point? How do you meet friends? How do you make friends? You meet people. So I talk to people on here. Some people I've then gone on to meet in person. So what's your point? If you're going to make a point, hurry up, because we've got, you know, adult things, grown-up things to talk about. Look, Bryony, I'm only on the end of the phone. I'm only on the end of the phone. And again, you know, if I know that you need to speak to somebody, I will stop what I'm doing and I will talk to you, okay? Because people's health is far more important than me putting out my videos per day, okay? If I'm in the middle of recording and my phone's on silent and I don't hear it, when I finish recording, I check my phone. If I see that there's a message from somebody or a missed call from somebody that I know might need my help, then I will call them, okay? And the video can go on hold. I can put it out a little bit later. It's not an issue. Oh, that's kind. Thank you. If I could, you know, if I could get about, I'd get about. I'd go and see people and all the rest of it. But why do you hate people? So when the local burglar robs your house, who do you call? That's slightly different. Slightly different. One of the things I've always said, and you'd know this if you weren't, you know, a single-minded penis. The police have a job to do. Okay. Their job is enforcing law, okay? It's protecting you, it's protecting me, it's protecting our belongings, okay? And it's protecting our human rights. If the police don't do their job, i.e. if they decide to police somebody's feelings or police somebody's words, okay, that is wrong. If police decide to break the law themselves and go doing things with children, or with vulnerable victims of crime, I will call it out, okay? How would you feel if your mum or your sister or your daughter or whatever, okay, had a problem, went to the police and ended up getting boned by one of them? How would you feel? I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be sitting here in the comments calling me a police hater. Lucifer, I might have to disagree with that there. When you say that police don't turn up for burglaries anymore, I would suggest that they do turn up for burglaries if the only person in the house is a child under the age of 13. Maybe shouldn't say that, but you know, based on what we've seen recently, I think it's probably true. 99% of police are good people. 100% of Harry Harlow are wankers. Your point is? Look, I hate. There are lots of police that I dislike. Lots of police that I hate because of what they've done. Okay, and I'll continue to call them out for it. Yeah, if the police do something good, then fair enough. But this channel isn't about that. This channel isn't about blowing smoke up their arse. Okay. For example, I saw I saw an article yesterday about some police that ran into a house to save some people that the house was on fire. And what? So would a member of the public. So it doesn't make the police special because they've gone into a house that was on fire. 7, 8 years ago, maybe a bit longer than that, me and a colleague I was working with, we was on a bus and we saw a fire in a block of flats. We told the bus driver to stop and phone the fire brigade and the police. We went in, we kicked the door in of the flats, and we ran up and we bashed on every door, okay, to tell people that there was a fire and empty the building, okay? I didn't get mentioned in the newspaper. I didn't give 2 fucks, okay? It's what people do. So what? And what? You do your job properly. You don't get fucking an award for doing your job. Absolute fuck nut. I'm a wanker, look in the mirror. Well, what's that going to prove? Just because you see one when you look in the mirror doesn't mean the rest of us see one when we look in the mirror. Oh, I know. I know. Is yeah. He's probably on his mobile phone. Got nothing else to do. Sitting in his bedroom. Looking at some internet porn of his mum. Do you know what? That was actually, thinking about that, that was actually very childish of me to say that about your mum. So I'll apologise for that. But you're a dick. Why do women get lesser sentences than men? Because even though they go on about, you know, and the women watching this, do not take offence, okay? But there are so many women out there that go, oh, equal rights, equal rights, equal rights. But then when it comes to equal rights, they go, oh, but I'm a woman. I'm a woman. Can't treat me like that. It was the man's fault. I'm just a woman, you know? And again, ladies watching this, I'm not saying every lady that does it, okay? I know a lot of people in here, a lot of people that watch my show and watch my channel have got bigger balls than many men. So I know that it's not all of you. Hiya, Spence. I got a phone call, 45 minutes before I was due to leave today. And, yeah, booked my ticket in advance and everything. And my brief calls me today and says that to London today. Not going to answer bail today. I am, I'm going to have the day off. Because I've already said to people I'm not doing videos today, and I'm going to stick to that, well, as much as possible. I've got nothing prepared for today, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to pop out for a little while this morning, and then if there anything comes up later on the news, then I'll jump on and do this and do what I normally do. Listen, guys, just give me a couple of minutes. Got to go for a leak. Keep Harry company in the comments for me while I'm gone, and I'll be back in just a couple of ticks.
You are watching the Police Abusing Powers channel. Your host Dan is currently taking a comfort break and will be back momentarily. Your patience is appreciated. Please check the video description for channel social media links, where we share alternative content, not necessarily in video format. Did you know, contrary to popular belief, it is not legal for a pregnant woman to urinate into a police constable's helmet, unless of course their head is on fire. Due to the nature of the content and limits YouTube place on freedom of speech, your support is important. There are ways you can support the channel listed in the description. Why not participate? You can contact police abusing powers using the phone number on your screen when the lines are open, or you can Skype using Dan Pap as the contact. That's Dan P-A-P.
And we're back. So, what, has he gone? Ah. I was going to ask him what Daddy's collar number is. Nobody's urinated in my helmet, Spence. No, it's still dry. Still dry. What about you, Mr. Pig? Anybody pissed in your helmet? No. No, nobody's pissed in his helmet either. Any news about Section 26 Criminal Justice and Courts Act cards? Well, the cards themselves, I need to, because, I mean, okay, on public transport and stuff like that, you still need to wear them. So I am waiting for some cards to arrive for that. We need to see what is changing, what is happening, and I need to draft some new cards with some other legislation on it to help protect people, but we need to wait and see what changes we're looking at with regards to the Human Rights Act and things like that. Section 26 of the Criminal Justice and Courts Act, Bryony, is basically a police constable who uses their position either for their gain or for the gain of somebody else. So if they misuse their position as a police constable, for example, showing a warrant card to get a free ride, or you know, there's lots more serious things, but it's basically a police constable who uses their position to benefit themselves or to the detriment of other people. Sarah Everard, yeah. Wayne Couzens used his card, his warrant card, used his position in the police to stop her and then do what he did. Smudge is a murderer. Oh. Oh, it's on top chat again, not live chat. Bloody hell. She was Bryony, yeah. The dogs, unfortunately, I had to let the dogs go. I had them for 7 years. They were part of my family, obviously, but I couldn't. Their quality of life would suffer Okay, I couldn't take them out for walks. I can't take them or couldn't take them individually. They needed to go together. Otherwise, one would get anxiety and screech the place down. So I had to take them both together. But because of the strokes that I had last year, I'm weaker on my left side. So I literally couldn't handle them, taking them for walks, and it wasn't fair on them. So I had to I had to let them go. Spence, yes, yeah. I woke up this morning and it was gone, as in it was dead. Well, it's sad. Yeah, it's sad. It's, you know, it wasn't fair on them. They shouldn't have to suffer. You know. I mean, the fact that I'm allergic to dogs and I had them for 7 years and I put up with itchy eyes and sneezy nose and all the rest of it for so long, you know, just to give them, you know, that they were from a rehoming centre, and you know, and I took them on just to give them a chance, and I like to think that I gave them a pretty good life. I loved them, obviously. And I but it just, you know, I've got big yards, and I could have, if I knew it was only going to be a few weeks, I could have coped, you know, just letting them run about in the yard. But obviously we don't know how long this weakness is going to last, and it's been nearly a year already. So yeah. But they got rehomed. They got rehomed together as well, which is really important for me to know that they was put together. How comes I had a stroke? I don't look that old. No, even the people at the hospital said the same thing. You know, it's unusual for someone of my age to have a stroke, although I had 3. But it was a blood clot rather than a bleed on the brain, which is easier to treat. Blood clot is easier to treat than a bleed on the brain. So thankfully I was, you know, thankfully I had that kind of stroke. I mean, I'm gutted I had any stroke, or, you know, to be honest, but I'm thankful it was a blood clot stroke rather than a bleed stroke. No, Matt, no, I'm not. No. No, and I won't be either. No, not warfarin. Something else, I can't remember the name of it, but it's not warfarin. But I mean, I'm on medication for the rest of my life now, you know, for the stroke. No, Lucifer, the bird was in the cat cage in the bathroom. Do you know what, Merlin? You're right there. I've said this all my life. I've said this to my mum and you know, so many other people. The good people tend to die, and most of the time they tend to die from horrible things as well. You know, but yet the horrible people tend to have quick deaths or live for ages. It's like, what? But this is what makes me think. Now, I'm not a religious person, but what I say is that if there is such a thing as heaven and hell, we're on hell, okay? Which is why the decent people get taken early, okay? they go to heaven early, and the rest of us have to endure this shitty place that we call the world and our lives. But I, as I say, I'm not a religious person, so I don't believe in God, okay, personally. But if there is a thing as heaven and hell, then this is hell. And then the people that get taken early are the people that are being taken away from this shithole. They've earned their way out. Whether that's, again, that's just my way of sort of quantifying it, if you like. Oh, I don't blame you, Matt. I don't blame you. I mean, I've got nothing against people that have beliefs. In fact, it's good to have beliefs. I wish I did have a belief, because, it would be nice to think maybe there is something after this. Maybe there is somewhere better, At the moment, I don't think there is. I've got no proof. Nobody's ever evidenced to me that anything, exists beyond this. So for that reason, I don't. I don't believe. But I absolutely have nothing against people that do have faith and believe in something. And in fact, I'm jealous. Oh, you want to be careful, Whack. Aren't they saying that, is it, oh no, it's paracetamol, isn't it? They're saying paracetamol can cause fucking heart attacks now. They're going to run out of things soon. It'll be breathing next. Breathing causes heart attacks, allegedly. Yeah, I'm not keen on the smell either, the Creator. I used to smoke weed many years ago, when I was working as a chef, and that was a long time ago. Morning, Rachel. But nowadays, and I've not had it for many years. Nowadays, when I smell someone walking down the street smoking it, and it turns my stomach, I'm like, no thanks. Yeah, well, didn't some doctor, that one of the doctors on one of the morning programs, say that the rising energy bills is going to cause heart attacks as well. They're really coming out with some fucking clangers, aren't they? Bus driving ninja, thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, it's one of them things. I'm getting over it. Thankfully, it didn't take me, so to speak. I'm still here, still fighting. No, spirituality, I think that's aspirin. I think aspirin and paracetamol are different. Aspirin is for thins your blood a little bit. Paracetamol, on the other hand, is what they're saying can cause heart attacks at the moment. I've no idea, CCTV user. Genuinely have no idea. Ross. Do you know? I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. My lecky, honest to God, my lecky has almost trebled, trebled, increased by threefold. Yeah, it has. I was literally right. I mean, I've got me set up here. Okay. I've got 3 monitors. I've got my computer. I've got my lights. Now my lights are LED. My light up top here is LED. The lights in all my rooms are LED, apart from one room. I don't have my telly plugged in anymore. Excuse me. I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 Alexas, which just sit there. But when I had all of this on and the telly, which I used to have on for the dogs, had it on all day long, it cost about £1 a day in Lecky. I've got to say, I thought that was fucking brilliant. £1 a day, no problem at all. Now I put £10 on 2 days ago. Okay, I'm on £3 on my Lecky key. It's ridiculous. It's just absolutely flying through it. Matt, I'll tell you what, look, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. No. Let's do it this way. 1 second. You see that when I always put my Alexa on privacy mode unless I need to use it. Ooh, hello. So yeah, I never leave it on and just leave it running. It's always on. It's always on privacy mode. And once a week, I check. I check what recordings it's got, and I delete them all. Oh dear. So what's everybody up to today then? Ooh, excuse me. I might need to go back to bed. Been up since 4 o'clock. Yeah, as I say, Michael, I've not changed anything with regards to what I'm using. Everything's the same that I'm using, apart from the telly's off and I don't have the lights on. I only have a light on in whatever room I'm in, and even the hallway light I used to leave on all the time, so I could see what in between all my rooms and stuff. But I don't even have that on anymore, and my bill has gone up. Excuse me, quite a bit. Yeah, well, there's a fund. In fact, let me see if I can. Let me see. Oh my goodness. Whew. Where is it? The Household Support Fund. If anybody's on any kind of benefits, have a look at your local council and the Household Support Fund. It's a £451 million fund that's been shared between councils to help with things like your bills, food, that kind of stuff. So just have a look at it just in case, because it may be useful to some of you. But the fund runs out in March. So as much as your local councils are tossers, the Household Support Fund and you may be able to get some additional help from that. What's my views on the Real North media and Marty falling out? Grace, I've got no views on it. I don't get involved. You know, if people are okay to me, I'm okay to them. If people fall out, you know, if I'm not involved, then, you know, who I choose to speak to or not speak to is my own decision. I don't base it on other people falling out. So I've got no views on that. How you doing, James? The Household Support Fund, by the way, is a grant. I believe it's not something that needs to be paid back. Just for additional clarification. Web Safety Online bill is genuine 1984 type stuff, isn't it? Very worrying. Even what somebody else classes as misinformation can see you with a fine or in prison. Even if you're, excuse me, you have to excuse me. I've been up since 4 o'clock and I still suffer with the chronic fatigue, so I'm rather tired. What was I saying? Yeah, it's frightening. It's frightening to think that that anything that anybody says, depending on what somebody else interprets it as, can be a crime, and that's horrible. No one's keeping me up, Matt. It's just part of the condition. Excuse me, there we go again. It's part of the condition after having the stroke. It's one of the things that some people get, some people don't. But it's to do with your brain recovering. So Matt, I don't think it's the cost of living that's gone up. I don't agree with that. I don't think cost of living has ever gone up. It's the value of money that's gone down. See, when you used to be able to buy 2 loaves of bread for £1 years ago, okay, and now you can just about buy 1 loaf of bread for £1. Again, it's not the fact that the cost of things have gone up, it's the value of money that's gone down. £6 for a kilo of Lurpak. Who buys a kilo of Lurpak? Unless you're in the trade. Curly whirlies were 8 foot longer. Yeah, I remember that as well. Absolutely. Like chomp bars as well. Chomp bars and well, all of them have shrunk. Mars bars are smaller. Double deckers are smaller. Everything's smaller. Oh, Freddos, yeah, I know Freddos are ridiculous. The price they've gone up. I'll tell you what, it's like buying Bitcoin, having Freddos from back in the day. Spirituality, I'm not sure. I think it's the 29th, unless they did say that I may not have to go back down on the 29th. They did say that they may come to a charging decision before then, which means they may postal charge me. In other words, rather than me go back to London to answer bail, they may charge me by post, send me something through the post and say you've been charged with whatever crime that they want to make up, and then it'll be a case of waiting until court and going down there. But yeah, it's just a wait and see game now. Yeah, blackjacks and fruit salads used to be 2 for a penny. They used to be when I was a kid. 2 for a penny. This was when we used to have half peas. Why bail? What did I do? I filmed the BBC statue being destroyed. I went to London beginning of January, and I filmed the statue being destroyed, and I was seen talking to the guy that done it, and they searched me for under Section 1 of PACE for items relating to criminal damage, which they found none, because all I had was my journalist stuff. I had my cameras and me portable Wi-Fi, and all my leads, my microphones and all that stuff, my body cam, and because they didn't find anything on me, they decided they was going to arrest me for conspiracy to commit criminal damage, and they kept me in Charing Cross Police Station for 24 hours. And then let me go on bail. Well, that's Louisa. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. Louisa Nur. Yeah, look, I was down there covering the story. That's all I was there for, you know. And I need to be careful what I say on here, because it's still an open investigation. But I was down there filming what was happening, just like when Black Lives Matter phone the press and say, we're holding a protest, can you come and cover it, for example. It's exactly what happened for me. Now, as a journalist, independent, but still as a journalist, there is some protection. Journalists do have some protection, and part of that protection is that their equipment is not to be seized without a court order, because there could be stuff on their equipment relating to sources, like private sources who have given them information and stuff like that, and because of that, they have some protection. But they've, as I say, they've taken all my stuff, and my brief is on it at the moment, trying to deal with it. But it's a waiting game. It's a waiting game. You know, today, they've pissed me about today. There's no need for it. It's a waste of money. I can't afford to throw £100 away on a train ticket, you know. But such is life. You don't need to be a recorded reporter, Louisa. Even the police, when they stopped me, I've got, it's in my coat pocket out there, I've got a card that says photographer on it, and it's got a picture of me, and it's got the law printed on there, front and back. Okay. Copper goes to me, is this a legitimate press pass? I said to him, there's no such thing as a legitimate press pass. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, look, press passes are issued either by either by the company you work for. So if you work for the Mirror, you get a Mirror press pass. If you work for the Sun, you get a Sun press pass. Or by a union that you pay into. So there is no central issuing authority for press passes. Therefore, there is no legitimate press pass. To which he agreed. So again, you don't need to be a registered journalist. You don't need to be a recorded journalist. Journalism is gathering and sharing information. That's what it is, regardless to who you are. It's just gathering and sharing information, and you don't need a license to do that. So my solicitors in Liverpool. The solicitors in Liverpool, I've got a solicitors in Liverpool that's dealing with my case against Merseyside Police. You know, the incident that started this channel off, that's still being dealt with. So I've got a brief that's dealing with that. And I'm actually using a different brief for the incident in London. I've not been charged yet, Galaxian. I'm on bail on suspicion of conspiracy to commit criminal damage. Yeah, exactly, Locke. Absolutely. Smudge is the CEO. Yeah, Louisa, the police, for example, they will look at a press pass from a known organisation. They will look at that and they'll go, okay, this person's legitimate. Okay, and by legitimate, they just mean that this person works for an organisation that we know about. But again, there's lots of places out there. There's lots of independent publications, independent websites and things like that that do journalism as well, and they choose not to be part of the mainstream media system, because there are limits when you're part of the mainstream media. There are limits on and rules, if you like, that you need to follow. And the police and the government, they don't like people that don't have rules to follow. Like myself, I don't have necessarily any rules. I have to follow the law, but I don't have any rules to follow. I don't have any guidelines to follow. You know, I just try and be honest, and I try and do what I do with some integrity, although sometimes that escapes me when I'm dealing with people that have, you know, interfered with young children, and I lose my integrity a little bit. But yeah, it's yeah. But again, you don't need to be registered with anybody, and independent media, independent press is becoming more and more wide. Well, I say wide. It's becoming more and more looked at. It's becoming bigger part of the news dissemination machine. Why was it wrong for me to do that? Are you talking to me, Bryony? They think that I was involved in the criminal damage somehow. That's why. Obviously, criminal damage is an offence, and they think that I had something to do with the statue being damaged, even though, you know, I didn't go up a ladder, I didn't have a hammer, I didn't break anything. But again, it's as the police said to me on the phone last time I spoke to them. They said it's a high-profile case. Is exact words he used. It's a high-profile case. Now, I don't see it as a high-profile case because nobody's talking about it anymore. If people were still talking about it, then fine. I'd say, yeah, it's a high-profile case. But even though for a few days everyone was going, oh, it's disgusting, BBC should take it down, they should get rid of it, they shouldn't have it up there, and everyone's gone quiet now. And I find that quite upsetting, actually. That people have you know, they kick up a fuss for a day or two and then they forget all about it, and that's something that's going on in this country, and this is an establishment which is part of British culture, the BBC, and people should be making a fuss about it. And you know, they're more inclined to make a fuss about somebody in another country than they are about what's going on in our own country, and it's saddening. A YouTube press card. Well, they wouldn't do a YouTube press card because literally anybody would be able to get that anyway, and it would cost YouTube money to design and print and send them out, and so YouTube wouldn't do that, and that would make YouTube an organisation, a news organisation, and they're not. They host people's videos rather than being a news organisation themselves. Yes, John Belcher. Yeah, suspicion. They're trying to do me for, but again, well, they've got nothing on me anyway, so it's just a wait. As I say, it's a waiting game. It's just annoying having to wait. When you've done nothing wrong, but you've got to wait for somebody to tell you that you've done nothing wrong. It's just like, oh, come on. You see, my press card or photographer card, it's actually got my number on the back. It says on there, if you need to verify this person, call this number. So so if somebody gets the card and calls the number and I'm standing there with them, my phone goes off in my pocket. I go, hello? Yes, he is. Josie, it depends. It depends on the case. It could be, if the crime's, how can I put it? If the crime is big enough, and when I say big enough, they're saying this is a high-profile case. Being a high-profile case, it could potentially end up in a Crown. Whereas if I kicked somebody's wall over, somebody's front garden wall over, then that would probably end up in a magistrate's, because it's not a high-profile case. Nobody gives a shit about it apart from the person whose wall it is, So it depends. No, they didn't, Brian. Just me. I was the only person that got arrested. And I believe that David Chick, who actually went up the ladder, I believe he was let out before I was. So I believe I was held longer on suspicion than he was. On suspicion of conspiracy than he was on suspicion of actually doing it. No worries, Bryony. I'll speak to you later. Yeah, you know what? Talking of Kier Starmer, anybody see the video of him getting bundled into the police car? Yeah? What I found strange is I watched several videos, okay? I didn't hear a single person. Now, it may have been before or after the video, but I didn't hear a single person going on about COVID or vaccinations. All I heard was somebody was calling him a paedophile, which, we can't say whether he is or isn't, because there's nothing to go on. He's a paedophile protector, but somebody was calling him a paedophile. Nobody that I heard mentioned vaccinations or COVID, but yet the mainstream media were calling them anti-vax protesters. And then it turns out this morning I see that 2 people have been arrested. Now, he is a member of Parliament. We have a right to question our members of Parliament. We have a right to do that. I didn't hear anybody threaten him. Again, maybe I missed that bit, but I didn't hear anybody threaten him on the videos that I heard and saw. But yet they're saying that they've arrested 2 people because somebody said it's not safe for you to walk the streets. But from what I believe was said, and I didn't hear it, but from what I believe was said, is that the members of Parliament, when they were saying they're not safe, I take that as they're not safe from being called out. I don't take that as being you're not safe, you're going to get injured or attacked or hurt. Yeah, exactly, Josie. That, yeah, shouting at him to be opposition, yeah. Excuse me. So, yeah, I've seen the videos, and I don't, I'm not buying into what they're saying about it. Yeah. Actually, Mrs. J, there is a where he was from where he was to where he was going. There's a tunnel. There's a tunnel that goes underground. Okay. He could have walked through that tunnel. The public aren't allowed in it. Okay, it's sealed off. Public not allowed to go through it. But he purposely walked through the streets when he had no reason to. And then starts bitching because he gets collared by some people that want to ask him questions. Excuse me. Hello, Princess Angela. Smudge is probably out looking for another bird. To let any politician rewrite a constitution or bill of rights is dangerous. Gove or not, any of them. If any of them get the chance to rewrite it or to amend it, which is what's happening with the Human Rights Act, it is a danger to all of us. It needs to be a public thing. Okay, when I say a public thing, they need to put out what they want to put in the documents, and they need to put it out to the people of this country for people to agree or disagree with and give their views. I've said this about all legislation, even with the emergency legislation. You know how, look, they can manage to post to everybody when there's an election coming up. They can manage to put a thing through the door and say to everybody, you have to fill this in or you're going to get fined or whatever it might be. They can do that, but yet when a new legislation wants putting through, a legislation that affects us, doesn't affect them, it affects us, okay? But yet they cannot put it out to everybody to say to everyone, what do you think? Because these people are there on behalf of us, and they've forgotten that. They think they're there to, like some sort of boss, like some sort of leader, and they're not. They're not. They are an elected representative of us. But yet when they go into the House of Commons and whatnot, they seem to think that they have all powerful, or they are all powerful, and they're not. They're not. Active Patriot, sorry mate, I've just seen you. I'm just looking back up through the comments. I've just noticed you there. I missed you. Sorry mate. Hello, Cop Watcher. Was there any other independent journalists in London? Do you know what? If you've seen the news, you'll have seen other people's footage. Now, those people gathered and disseminated that information. Therefore, for the purposes of journalism, they were journalists. They was reporting on a news event and they disseminated it. So everybody there that filmed it and shared that footage online is a journalist for the purposes of that. No, I'm not going to London tomorrow, Princess Angela. I should be going today. Today should be my bail. But I had a phone call this morning, 45 minutes before my train, from my brief, saying that the officer in charge of the investigation has contacted them and don't want me in there today. So. Stop spreading tales? Who are you talking to? Who are you talking about? What are you talking about? No reason apart from still investigated. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. No, still investigating. So my brief is putting in an invoice for the cost of my train ticket because I've had to book it. You know, I booked it a week after I came back up here, after a week after the incident. Because if I left it till closer to the date, it would have cost me way more. In fact, it could have cost me up to £170. So he is going to put a claim in for the reimbursement of that. What is someone to do if they don't have the money and can't get there? Well, they can. I mean, if you let them know that you can't make it on a particular date, then they can extend it a bit more without you going down there. If they want to. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they will. But yeah, if you can't make it, sometimes they'll put it off until you can. Morning, RJ. All well and good. I should be on a train at the moment on my way down there. But I had a phone call this morning telling me that they don't want me to go down there today. Hiya, Jew. I wish I'd seen it now, CCTV user. You piquing my interest as to Crinkle's live stream. Yeah, I am on PIP CCTV user. You know, stuff like a train pass and that bus ticket. I don't get the bus because I can't. My mental health won't let me. Train's different. Because I always get like a table seat if I can at the end of the carriage, right? So if it gets too much, I can step out into the, you know, where the doors are. But being on a bus, nah. But I do need to look into that again. You know, I've been on PIP for a while, but I've never been on PIP before. You know, so I don't know what I'm entitled to and what I'm not in that respect. But yeah, I think I need to sort out something. To be honest, I don't really travel that much, in all fairness. But I suppose it would help. Hey, Angela, there's no room for Josie. Sorry. I don't know nothing about that, Jeanette, to be honest. It's not something that I've heard or seen, so I've not looked into it. So you know, because of that, I couldn't give an opinion on it, unfortunately. Not at the moment, Spence. No, not allowed. I'm not taking calls today. Watching now. Yeah, the thing is, though, CCTV user, you have to be on a higher rate, though, don't you? In order to get the mobility side of it. I'm only on the low rate. Josie's making you look a burqa. Well, I'll tell you what, CCTV user, I received in maybe July last year, I received a piece of paper which was a review, basically. You know, after so long, you have to reapply. Well, this was almost like that, but I think they'd changed it. It was like, when I say a piece of paper, it was a booklet about 4 pages long. Nothing like the normal one that you fill in, and it just asked if there was any changes to my circumstances. So at that point, I'd not mentioned about my stroke, because I was told that you have to wait 6 months. It has to be a condition that you've had for 6 months or more, and this is what the hospital said. So I didn't phone them and let them know. So I got this paperwork through. I filled it all in, told them I had the stroke, and told them about, you know, the issues that I've got now. Sent it off. They've had it for over 6 months, and I phoned them last week, or was it last week? Yeah, I phoned them last week, and said, look, I said, I've not heard from you. I said, I've sent the paperwork back to you. I want to make sure you've got it. And they was like, yeah, we've got it. We just haven't got round to it yet. So I don't know what's I don't know what's happening. You know, I'll go wait and see, I suppose, again. How much is low rate? I can't even remember. 200 and something pound a month. It's not a lot. It's not a lot at all. I think it's 240 something a month, I think. Let me have a look. Hello, Smudge. Meow. $240. There you go. 240 a month. I've no idea, Princess Angela. I've absolutely no idea at all. Again, I've put in the information about my stroke and all that stuff, and I'm waiting to find out, I suppose, what's going on. But they said that they've not looked at it yet, so I have to wait some more. But then if I am, I get it backdated. So come here, you. Come and say hello to your fans. Can you hear him purring? Don't do it with your claws. Let go. Hello. Hello. Look, all these people want to see you. They want to see you more than they want to see me. Ah, smudgy. What are you doing? What are you doing? Come on in. Oh. Oh. Hello. No more. I don't want you bringing any birds back home. Alright, you're too young to bring birds home. Plus I'm jealous. Go on. Off you go. Hey, what's happened? Can you hear me? You can hear me, but you can't see me. I don't know what's going on here. Give us a second. What is going on? Right, hold on a minute. I'm not sure what's going on here. 1 second. We'll have to do it that way. It seems I've overheated. So, yeah, seems I've overheated. That was strange. Peculiar. What was I saying? I can't remember. Just remember, guys, the CAB, the Citizens Advice Bureau, received something like £51 million from the DWP in order to advise favourably universal credit. Okay, and they had to sign a gagging order not to say anything about the DWP that could be seen as bad. So Citizens Advice Bureau does not work for you anymore. Well, most of them should, Princess Angela. Most of them should go to the CPS, but you'll find that you'll find that during investigations, police can turn around and say, well, I don't think there's enough evidence here to send it to the CPS, and therefore they won't send it to the CPS. Although I think that every serious case, there should be a threshold, and every kind of case above that threshold, regardless to whether you as a police constable think there's enough evidence or not, it should go to the CPS. It's a bit different if it's something small, like, use the metaphor I used earlier, kicking somebody's garden wall over. Something like that doesn't necessarily need to go to the CPS for a charging decision, does it? You know what I mean? If you did it, you did it. If there's proof you did it, you did it. No issues. Piss off for him with your bullshit. Right, guys, I'll be back in just a second.
You are watching the Police Abusing Powers channel. Your host Dan is currently taking a comfort break and will be back momentarily. Your patience is appreciated. Please check the video description for channel social media links, where we share alternative content, not necessarily in video format. Did you know, contrary to popular belief, it is not legal for a pregnant woman to urinate into a police constable's helmet, unless of course their head is on fire. Due to the nature of the content and limits YouTube place on freedom of speech, your support is important. There are ways you can support the channel listed in the description. Why not participate? You can contact police abusing powers using the phone number on your screen when the lines are open, or you can Skype using Dan Pap as the contact. That's Dan P-A-P. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click the bell so you are notified when we upload new content. You can also join our jovial and supportive community by participating in the live chat, and please don't forget to share and like the stream. Did you know it's illegal for a London black cab to enter the city without a bale of hay in the boot for the horse, a law that still hasn't been repealed?
And we're back. Hi up, Roger. How you doing? Oh, the kettle's brilliant, Galaxian. It's 1 cup at a time. So you just fill it up with water, cup under, press a button on the top, literally 30 seconds. It boils a cup full of water, spits it out into your mug. So it is quick. Oh, Princess Angela, I got rid of him. I booted him already. Excuse me. Oh my God. Jesus. Yeah, Tony, I saw that about the footballer, and I actually saw the video this morning. Absolute piece of shit. But I believe the RSPCA, well, from what I gather, I've seen that the RSPCA and the police are investigating, but I've heard elsewhere that the police aren't investigating. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on, but somebody needs to do something, because you can't get away with that kind of shit. It's bang out of order. Hiya, Grim. Oh yeah, Spence, it does. Well, I say it does. To be honest, I think I drink more coffee now because it's so quick and easy. But it is better than boiling a full kettle each time you just want 1 cup, because what you're doing is you're boiling water. You're using energy to boil water that you're not going to use, and you could boil that water 3 or 4 times before you get to use it all. So it's, you know, it does save energy in that respect. But I do drink so much coffee. I'm surprised I'm not hanging off the walls half the time. Yeah, they're tossers, Roger. Absolute tossers. They must have got wind of the fact I was going down there with some journalism equipment to I was going to stand outside and question some of the police constables going in and out about the scandal that's going on at the moment. Find out if any of them are involved in or have been subjected to any of the abuse, shall we say, that's been going on, or sexual deviancy that's been happening. Right, the thing about Khan giving Dick just days to sort the Met out or she's out, this was something that was brought up in the comments yesterday, I think, or the day before. Khan can't sack Dick. The only person that can sack Dick is the Home Secretary. Now, with that in mind, the Home Secretary is unlikely to sack Dick without speaking to Khan. So Khan can have an input and will have an input, but ultimately it's the Home Secretary's decision. I mean, fuck me. Khan's got enough power issues as it is without giving him the power to sack the Chief Constable, for God's sake. Yeah, me too, Roger. I was hoping I would as well, but you know, such is life, I suppose. I should have known. I didn't think they would, to be honest. I didn't think they was going to mess me about the way they did, but I suppose I just I don't know. I suppose I trust people too much. The lying witch in the wardrobe. Yep. Although I'd call her the lying bitch in the wardrobe. Yeah, Sadiq Khan is just mayor, but it's unlikely that, as I say, it's unlikely that that Pretty Useless will sack her without Khan's, not approval, but without his input as well. Oh my God. How long have I been on now? Fucking hell, 2.5 hours nearly already. Jesus. I'm going to have to wrap this up soon, guys, because I've got some stuff I've got to get on with. Apparently, not from the information that I found, Bastian. maybe the information I found's wrong, but from what I've discovered yesterday, because somebody asked the question in the comments, from what I could find yesterday, only the Home Secretary can sack Cressida Dick. Well, not only the Home Secretary, obviously somebody else in Parliament would have the power to do so. But Sadiq Khan apparently doesn't have the power to sack her. He can recommend it. He can advise the Home Secretary, but I don't believe he's got the actual power to do it himself. Again, I may be wrong. So, not calling you a liar or anything like that. But I'm just going off the info that I managed to find yesterday. As I say, Bastian, you may well be right. I may have some old information. Again, I don't have as much time as I'd like to research everything as deeply as I'd like to, which is why sometimes I'm missing photos and stuff like that from my reports. So I may be wrong, as I say. But they all need fucking off anyway. Let's face it. Khan, Dick, Pretty Awful, all of them need to go. Bobby, if I had one of them taps, them cooker taps that spat out boiling water at the twist of a faucet, whatever you want to call it, I would probably be having a stroke a week from the amount of caffeine that I have. So what I've noticed a lot of people have done as well. A lot of people have forgotten that, especially with the Met Police, but I'd say this is for every police. Do you remember when they said after Sarah Everard, they said, oh, if a member of the public is unsure about a police constable, the police constable will radio through to control, and they will confirm that the person they're talking to is a copper. People seem to have forgotten all that. Nobody's doing it. Nobody's doing it. I'd do it. Even if a copper come up to me in uniform, I'd say to him, listen, I don't trust you. I don't know who you are. That could be a fake warrant card. Yeah, you can get a uniform from a fancy dress shop. I don't know who you are. I'm not talking to you. Either get them on, get your control on the radio, or fuck off. And do you know what that's going to do? That's going to help you. And I'll tell you why that's going to help you. Because they've got to phone, or they've got to call through to control. Control is going to log that they're talking to you. So if they fuck up, or if they mistreat you or abuse their powers, you've got that to rely on to prove that you were stopped by said constable. So you need to start asking. You need to start asking the police to prove that they're police. Warrant cards are fuck all. In Scotland, last week, two people with fake warrant cards went to a man's house and stole £25,000 because they had fake warrant cards. So just because somebody shows you a warrant card, it means fuck all. All you got to do is get a printer. You can buy a printer for a couple of £100. If it's going to make you 25 grand, it's fucking worth it, isn't it? You know what I mean? Buy yourself some plastic, blank plastic ID cards. Print them up, you know. So you got to start asking the police to prove that they're police, and a warrant card just doesn't cut it anymore. Tony, they won't do anything about that. They were in on it. Got library cards. I wonder where our troll's gone. Kind of miss him. I'm looking back. Angela, I can't find it. Oh, what happened about all the files lost from the PNC? No, I've not heard anything about that. Do you reckon that was Crinkle? Do you reckon he jumped on because I called him out a bit on his audit? Do you think he got the ump? Oh dear. Henry, how does the taste of boot polish suit you? Well, it wasn't really an audit, Simon. What he done is he went to I can't remember what police station he went to. Bethnal Green, I think it was, although I might be wrong. And he stood outside. A police van pulled up, and they said, "Oh, what are you doing?" So straight away, rather than doing what auditors do, he went, "Oh, I'm trying to." He goes, "I'm filming. I'm trying to prove auditors wrong." Do you know what an auditor is? Oh, the self-styled auditors. They go around filming police and telling the public how bad they are at abusing their powers. He goes, "But I want to prove to them that you don't abuse your powers." Copper goes, "What's your name?" He goes, oh, I don't want to say my name because I'm on live stream, but I'll tell you my name's Henry. All right. So he was literally, he was, as I said earlier, Simon, there were two female police constables. If these female police constables had penises, Crinkle would have been going like that, tickling their balls while they were violating his face. That, you know, he yeah, I'm telling you, he was so up their arse. Oh, but I'm only trying to defend you. I'm trying to debunk auditors and trying to defend the police because I think you're wonderful. John Wild dressed like an 80s teenager with his with his protective helmet on as well. Did he have knee pads and elbow pads on? Oh, fucking hell. Knee pads. Can you imagine him standing there with his knee pads around his shell suit bottoms? Oh, fucking hell. He even put the video on himself with his helmet on. Honest to God. He had a scooter thing and he was videoing his scooter thing and he turned the phone round to himself and he's standing there with his helmet on and he looked like a Bay City Roller fan. On his way to the roller disco. Oh dear, stop it. Oh no, honest to God, it's worth watching, honestly, on his channel. Oh. Hiya, Joe. Update is I'm meant to be on a train right now on my way to London, Charing Cross Police Station, but I had a phone call from a brief 3/4 of an hour before I was due to get on a train, saying that they don't want me to go down today. So I've already brought my ticket and everything, so it's a waste of money. But yeah, I was meant to go down today. I was quite looking forward to it actually, but they contacted me brief and said that I don't need to go down there today, and my bail's been extended until the 29th of March. What channel? It's the Henry Crinkle show. I mean, by all means, go and watch that video, but do yourselves a favour, do not subscribe. Oh, Kentish Town Police. Let me get the link. I'll pop it in the comments there. There you go. You can go check him out on there. I wouldn't bother watching any of his live streams. Some of them are like 11 hours long. I mean, what the fucking hell is he doing? The guy must be on crack or some kind of amphetamine to do an 11-hour live stream. Do you know what, that live stream is he's got like a bag with him. It looks like he's fucking moving house. Have you seen the bag he's got with him? He's on sitting on the scooter. It's like, what the fucking hell you got in there? Is it body? Roger Whittington. Oh, that's the wrong bit. Hang about. There you go. That's Roger Whittington's channel. So all you got to do, Simon, is... Oh, my God, I've gone blurry again. All you got to do is just search for Henry Crinkle. And it's the... I think it's the first one that comes up. Let me just double check. Yeah, Henry Crinkle, 635 subscribers, and his picture says King Kong Company. No, I know, the bloody camera. Come on, focus. Focus. Focus on me. No, me, you piece of shit. Focus. It's not even focusing that close. Focus. Come on now. Oh, you knobhead. $635 too many. Yep. Fucking come off it, mate. Sort it out. Focus. How you doing, Agent X? Nice to have you here. Forgive the blurry video. Still waiting for me fucking equipment back from the police. Oh, God, come on. Come on now. Focus. 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 Right, focus. There we go. There we go. This webcam was fucking 70 quid when I bought it. Fucking piece of shit. It is a Logitech one, yes. It's supposed to, it's HD 1080, but it's shit. The focus just keeps going. Is doing me head in. I'm not sure what this one is, to be honest. Might say on the bottom. Let's have a look. Might say on the bottom or on the back. No, doesn't say. Now watch it go out of focus again. I've got the cam link. That's what I use for my camera that the police have got. Excuse me. But this one just goes through USB. No worries, Angela. I'll catch you later. Oh, Dan might know his tech, but it doesn't mean Dan can control his tech. I'm gutted. I missed that. I mean, I've never watched a Crinkle live stream, and to be honest, I'm not sure I could. In all honesty, I'm not sure that I'm not sure I wouldn't be able to watch it without having a stroke. But I'm gutted I missed last night's. No, do you know what? Grim? It's why recently my videos. Normally, I put myself on my videos, and I have done since the beginning. But since I've come back, since having the stroke, and since having my camera seized by the police, I've got the webcam I can use, but I've been doing my videos without me on it, without my face on it, which is probably good. Probably good for a lot of people, but I'll be honest, the editing is so much easier when I haven't got to worry about me being on there. The editing is so much easier, and I can throw the videos out way quicker. So I'm thinking that I probably stick with that rather than put myself on video. I'll use my voice obviously, but rather than put my face on the reports, I'll probably stick to not doing that for the time being, see how that goes, and just use my camera for my live streams. Yeah, you're not wrong, Spence. That was some serious arse licking. I'm surprised he's got any taste buds left. Yeah, well, it makes it easier, guys. To be honest, the videos I've been doing the last week and a bit have been a piece of piss. Absolute piece of piss. Again, I haven't got to worry about what I'm wearing. I haven't got to worry about the lighting so much, and I'm saving so much time by not being on camera myself, doing the reports. And as long as I'm still being honest and getting the information out to people, then as far as I'm concerned, I'm still doing the job. So. No worries, Matt. Listen, you take it easy. I very, very rarely do a live stream during the day. This was only meant to be a quick one. It's already nearly 3 hours long, 2 3/4. Yeah, I very rarely come on. In fact, I never come on during the day for a live stream. So you've done well to catch me on this one. But normally I'll do a Sunday night, is almost every Sunday, and occasionally on a Wednesday night as well. It's Wednesday today, isn't it? Oh, in that case, I'll probably be on tonight. Feel free to join us. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to have one more cigarette. I'm going to finish my coffee, and then I'm going to call this a day for now, anyway, until until maybe later. CCTV user, anything that comes through the channel, I promise you, and hand on heart tell you that it goes on the channel. Whether it's equipment, whether it's when I was doing the PAP cards, paying initial costs of those up front, for example. But yeah, obviously I don't, I haven't got 100,000 subscribers. I'm not making, not making several £1,000s a month. In fact, I'll be lucky if I make £200 a month off of YouTube. So all of that gets saved up to be used on the channel. Do a 24-hour live. Fucking hell, I couldn't manage that. Could not manage that, honest to God. Trust me, after a while I'd have to go to sleep on the couch over there, and you'd have to listen to me snoring, and boy do I fucking snore. Hey, Lucifer, don't blame me. Don't blame me. I've got a gun to your head, have I? Come on. You are your own man. You make your own decisions. Don't go blaming it on me. It does take quite a bit, yeah, admittedly, which is amazing, really, considering how much money they make just from advertising. But until there is something better, we unfortunately have to make do with this. Yeah, it's always my fault. Block, always my fault. I hope he is later, Lucifer, to be honest, because I've got something to say to him. And it's not about his channel or his content, and it's not about the jibby jab. And I know you don't like him being on here. I'm guessing after the next time he comes on, he won't be coming back on, at least for a while. Roger, it's always my fault. It's always my fault. Even when it's not my fault, it's my fault. It's just the way it is. I need, I want to see and hear what he's been saying. Just because I genuinely, I don't disbelieve anybody, but I genuinely find it hard to believe that he's said those things. But when somebody tells you something and you believe it, but you just want to see it with your own eyes. That's how I am at the moment. Do you know what, Callus? One of the reasons is, and I'll be honest, okay, when Crinkle's on, he has this uncanny knack of getting people to tune in. Now, whether that's because they are secret followers of his, or whether they want to just hear and laugh about what he has to say, I don't know. But I've got to be honest, when he's on, the number of people watching goes up. However, it's not about that. Okay, let me be clear about that. It's not about the numbers of people that watch. Yes, I would like more people to watch the live streams, mainly because of the fact that we've got a good community, and it's more about anybody out there that needs help can ask in the community or can phone in, and the community will respond. Do you know what I mean? That's really, really important for me. So I would much rather do that than argue with somebody on the phone. But I open the lines to anybody to talk about anything, and so I have to allow people to phone in. If I stop people from phoning in, then I'm censoring people, and that's the last thing I want to do. But I've been informed of something. I can't say it on here. I'm going to say it when I speak to him next on a live stream. I've been informed of something which I need to call him out on, shall we say. Yeah, it does get a bit annoying sometimes, Simon. I mean, I've been on calls to people, and he's popped up 7, 8, 9 times in a row, and I've just thought, oh God, and I've kept talking to the person I'm talking to. A couple of times, I've brought him in so the person I'm talking to can tell him what they think as well. But I think that's probably going to stop after I speak to him. Yeah, you're right. You're right there, Roger. But again, even Jamie knows the score. There might be trolls, but they're watching. They're adding to the watch count. They're adding to the watch time. They're adding to the views. They're adding to the comments, and all it does is helps the channels that they hate, like absolute idiots. I mean, you wouldn't go to a takeaway if you didn't like the food. Why would you go and give them money if you're going to go throw the food in the bin? You wouldn't do it. So, all you're doing is lining their pocket with profit. So why would you go to a channel that you don't like, comment, get engaged, watch? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And the trolls just don't get it. They just don't understand. Joe, I'll check the emails a bit later. I'm going to go once I finish this coffee. I've got some things I've got to do. And then when I come back a bit later, I will check my messages and stuff. Apparently, I've just seen a notification that says JB. If you know who JB is, the person that Live Free got in trouble for saying what he said on the live stream. Apparently, JB is at a Google office trying to complain about Live Free. Apparently. Well, do you know what, Wes? I said at the time that I certainly didn't agree with what was said on live stream. Okay, certainly didn't agree with that whatsoever. I understand he was pissed off, but you know, you can't go around saying stuff like that about people, and he's paid the price for that. Okay, excuse me. Whatever he's done in the past, before I knew him, and I don't, you know, I've never met him. Don't get me wrong, I've never met him. I haven't. Hang on a minute. Yes, I have. I've met him once. That's a lie. I've met him once. You know, I've not been out for a drink with him. I don't sort of hang out with him or anything like that. Whatever he's done prior to me meeting him is really none of my business. It's like me. I mean, I'm you know, I'm honest. Live Free seems to be quite open about what he's done in the past. I don't know. I don't know him well enough, and I don't know anything about him to say whether or not he's, you know, fully open or not. I don't know, and I wouldn't even guess. I wouldn't like to make an assumption. But he's never done anything wrong to me. If people used my part or looked at my past, and I'm open about my past. I've been open about it since I started this. But I've always said about what kind of a person I was when I was younger, and I was an arsehole, you know. I used to drink. Not an alcoholic, but I used to drink, and I used to go out looking for fights. And if I couldn't find a fight, I'd start one. That's the type of person I was when I was younger, right? These days I'm not. These days, if I can get out of fighting, I will do. Yeah, last resort. But some people, if people took my past and held it against me, then, you know, I'd feel quite bad about that. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm a completely different person to how I used to be. Again, I don't know. You don't know me. You've only got my word for that. I don't know Live Free, so, you know, I've only got what he says. Which I have to, the same as everybody, I have to take people at face value until I know more, or until they do something wrong to me, you know. So yeah, no, I understand that, Callus. I do understand that. However, I do know people who have stolen and robbed because they've had no choice. And again, I don't know enough about Live Free or anyone else, to be honest, to be able to make a judgment, if you like. I don't know enough about these people to do that. I don't look into people. You know, I don't look into people's past. I take people at face value when I meet them. But as I say, you know, that's not knocking anybody, and I'm not suggesting that anybody is wrong for how they feel. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion and their own feelings about somebody. Same as me, you know. Everybody's entitled to how they feel about me. Some people like me, some people don't, and you know, that's the way it goes. But again, I'm not gonna pass comment on what somebody's done in the past when I don't know the reasons behind it, if that makes sense. And I hope you can understand that. Again, I'm not sticking up for anybody that's done something wrong. I'm just saying that anything that happened before I knew them is ultimately none of my business unless it affects me. For example, let's use what's his name, Spitshine69. Many of you probably won't know who that is, but Spitshine69 was a YouTuber. He used to do audits. I never met him, but he was quite well known on YouTube, on the auditing community. I spoke on the phone with him, you know, several times, and we all thought he was okay. Then it turned out he was exactly, Lucifer. Then it turned out he was a paedophile. I didn't know that. You know, I had no reason to have known that. But that came out, that then affected me and many other people because we were associated to him. So at that point, you've got to turn around and say, look, enough's enough, because, you know, I can't be associating with that person because of what they've done, and it's now affecting me. As I say, I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of what I think about different people from their past. As I say, I have a past. I don't know the reasons behind why something was done. I personally, some of you might know. Some of you may well know the reasons behind why some people have done some of the things that they've done. But I don't, so I can't pass a judgment on that. And again, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. You know, I'm not trying to stick up for anybody that's done something wrong. I'm just saying that if it doesn't affect me and hasn't affected me, then to me, their past, you know, is their past. All restrictions, including isolation, to end from the end of this month. Does that mean coming back from, like, going to and coming back from holiday and stuff? Because if it does, I've been invited to Cyprus. Yeah, so did Marty, Josie. So did Marty. You know, and that kind of thing where it affects, when it starts to affect you, especially in that sense, you know, you've got to say, no, fuck it, enough's enough. Thankfully, I hadn't met him, but because I had spoken to him and I had spoken about him online, I had to put out a video explaining what I found out, or explaining what I'd heard, and that I had no idea about it, you know. An ex-friend asked a 15-year-old girl for sex, I think by accident, but now he's joining youth groups. That's a tough one. It's a tough one. I mean, if you think he was serious, I mean, look, let's be honest. Some girls look older than they are, okay? And it is quite within reason to think that mistakes can be made, okay? You're out at a nightclub or whatever, girl looks old enough, chatting her up, you know, do you want a bunk up? As long as nothing's happened, I can understand something like that happening, being a mistake, okay, as long as nothing else happens. But as for what you've just said, you said you think it was by accident, but now he's joining youth groups. I mean, do you think he's joining youth groups because he has an interest in younger people? If you think he has an interest in younger people, then you need to say something. Yeah, he was brilliant. Yeah, absolutely, Josie. Absolutely. And, you know, I made a good friend out of Current Climate. No, if you Simon, if you think that he has joined a youth group for a nefarious reason, then you need to say something. If you don't like him, okay, but if you don't like him and you don't think that he's joined the group for a nefarious reason, personally, I think that that's a good judgment, okay, because you don't like him. You're not being swayed by your anger towards him, if that makes sense. So I think that's probably a better judgment if you don't think that he's joined for nefarious reasons. I mean, yeah, as Klaus has put, how old is he? I mean, that would be a determining factor as well. I mean, if he's 18, for example, some 18-year-olds might well join youth groups, okay, depending what the youth group does. If he's 25, you know, that's a bit different. Yeah, Roger, they should have been age checked at the door, but it's not that difficult to get Blag ID these days, in all fairness. Which is why I said it's understandable if you're in a nightclub. You would expect somebody to be of age in a nightclub. Providing nothing's happened. After that, you know, you might chat them up. Might buy them a drink, whatever. But if you don't know, you don't know. And in an environment like a nightclub, and I'm certainly not condoning anything happening, but if you're in a nightclub and you start chatting someone up or they start chatting you up, how would you know? But again, that's providing nothing happened afterwards. You know, like you didn't go through with anything afterwards. If you went through with something afterwards, then there's a bit of an issue, and you know, whether you're friends with them or not, somebody needs to know. Right. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call it here. I know Live Free's just gone live. You might want to jump over onto... I've gone blurry again. You might want to jump over onto his live. I don't know. But I'm going to call it here. I've finished my coffee. I've got a few bits I need to do. But I should probably be back later on this evening if you're around. So... keep an eye open. If I'm back, it'll be at 8 o'clock tonight. So keep an eye open at 8 o'clock and see if I am about. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day, folks. Thank you for jumping on with us this morning for this impromptu live stream. Oh, bloody camera. But other than that, have a good one, and I will speak to you. All right, Josie, I'll check that as well. But I'll check you all later. Take it easy.